On parade come the USF Bulls, opening conference play at home against ECU. You are watching the American Conference on ESPN. We welcome you to Raymond James Stadium in Tampa for this matchup featuring the Pirates and the Bulls. Inside the booth, along with Ray Bentley, I'm Dave Lamont. And Ray, I doubt there's hardly any college football team that has had the kind of adventure to start the month of September what the Pirates have gone through.
Yeah, they've been sequestered in a hotel in Orlando for the last 10 days. That helps build the team, but it also means you haven't played football in a long time. So they could come out a little rusty, or they could come out ready. We'll find out.
Additional motivation, you see that one Carolina sticker. Teams in North and South Carolina, because they were victimized by this powerful storm, are wearing that in solidarity today. The players didn't know about that until just when they arrived here at Raymond James. And ECU will get the ball first to start the evening here on this gorgeous field. I mean, it's going to be the site of Super Bowl 55 here, Raymond James Stadium. And there's Blake Barnett. One of the most interesting stories in college football this year. The 22-year-old father, a married man, of a 6-week-old, I believe, baby. Or 6 months, pardon me. You're the 6-week-old grandfather. That's what I'm thinking of. And he was at Alabama. He was at a junior college and didn't play football. He played very briefly at Arizona State. He has graduated, but he has found a home with this USF side and got this Bulls team clean through 3 games. Toe meets leather, we're underway. Very short kickoff taken to the 6-yard line. And very well covered by the Bulls, unable to get out to the 20, and you saw a penalty flag fly in. Late flag. And thrown toward that pile. Charles Lamartina is our referee from the American. Let's see what we got.
There is no foul for holding on the play. The block was legal.
So we have nothing. What we do have is ECU on offense, and their quarterback, the sophomore Reed Herring out of Raleigh.
I like Herring, Dave. I think he's going to be a good one. He's grown up through this system, which I think is helpful. Their last several quarterbacks have been graduate transfers, and they had to jam everything into him in 1 year. Herring's been in this system now 3 years, and he knows where to go with football.
Going to come firing out right away. East Carolina is known for their passing attack. The intended receiver, Terrell Green, was very well covered. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
They love to throw those fade balls down the sideline, and a lot of them end up being back shoulder throws, which I think Herring is much better at the back shoulder than laying it out over the top trying to drop it in. You'll see corners, both of them pressing to try and disrupt the timing of this passing game.
Hand off here to Anthony Scott, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that will be about all. No gain on the play, 3rd down and 10. USF has been a strong defensive side over the years.
And they are really good over the years, Dave. They got some young guys in there that are getting their chance to be good, and I'm especially impressed with Livingstone and Kevin Keegler, those 2 big defensive tackles.
And Livingstone was in on that one, so you're looking at a 3rd and long right away.
Here comes that blitz.
Quick throw. 1st down. That is Green, who's a senior, coming in across the 30-yard line to make a gain of 13-yard line. Nice throw there on the target by Herring.
Yeah, Herring's very accurate on the intermediate stuff, especially over the middle of the field. He throws dimes. In fact, I think he throws it well to the outside. His issue is the deep ball, but he mitigates that with the back shoulder stuff. So I tell you what, I've been impressed with him. He grew a lot from week 1 to week 2 in their first 2 games of the year.
Back to the air, and that was nearly picked. Green, his target again. And that time, Greg Reeves, the defensive end who had dropped back in coverage, was actually closer to that pass than Green was.
Yeah, and I don't think Reed Herring saw Greg Reeves, the defensive end, drop back there. And I also think his receiver broke outside, and he expected an inside break from Green.
Another throw, slant across the middle. That's going to be a first down. Catch made there by DeAndre Ferrier, a junior out of Orlando. That's another 13-yard pickup, and the Pirates continue to move the chains.
And this is when they like to go fast, although they're bringing in the tight end, Anthony Watley. First showing.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's making his first appearance after missing the first couple of games. They like him a lot. He might be a target here. Pressure coming. Herring dumps it off to the short man out of the backfield. That is Scott, who's a good receiver. And he'll pick up 3 there. Second and long coming up. In there on the tackle, Ronnie Hoggins Jr., the nickel position.
Nice job of Herring seeing that blitz and knowing where his immediate hot read was and zipping it out to the back to avoid a negative play and move the sticks a little bit.
Hoggins, an important player for the Bulls, number 19. He is, they call him the Major, and the coaches say he's their best defensive player.
He is really good inside the box, like another linebacker out there.
And now in the quarterback is Holton Ehlers, number 12. This usually indicates run. He'll keep it. And he'll get to midfield before he is taken down there by the linebacker, Nico Sautel.
Ehlers got into the game last week, Dave. 12 plays, 11 of them were runs. And now they'll bring in Reed Herring again. Looks like they might want to throw the football. Now, they did throw it the one time, but they like to use Ehlers in obvious running situations and in the red zone and near the goal line.
3rd and 4. Under pressure, tries that pattern down the middle. It's going to bust loose. And there is the tight end, Watley, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and dragged down inside the 5-yard line. That was 88, actually. Trayvon Brown, the outstanding senior receiver. Mike Hampton saved a touchdown.
Well, Mike Hampton got burned. Actually, he did. Mike Hampton, watch right there. He thought that ball was knocked down. He didn't even wrap up or attempt to make a tackle. He thought the play had been made. But somehow Brown came up with it and ended up getting chased down.
48 yards to the 2. Ehlers back in at quarterback. He'll keep it. And he'll score easily. ECU is on the board on their opening drive.
I thought it was kind of funny. We asked Scottie Montgomery if we would see Ehlers this week, and he goes, "You have to wait and see."
Yeah, he didn't have to be that close to the vest. We kind of expected it anyway.
I just kind of chuckled a little bit. And there's also talk about redshirting him. You know, he can play 4 games now with the new rule. I don't see that happening either. He's been too effective running the football for them and taking care of their red zone woes where they struggled early in the year until he came in.
Well, the big play, the 48-yard hookup to Trayvon Brown. One-on-one, one of the most devastating receivers in the American.
Yeah, and I tell you what, tackle him no matter what. Hampton thought he had made a play. Turns out he didn't until about 40-some-odd yards later. And they finish it off with the Ehlers romp into the end zone. ECU up 7-0.
There's the freshman out of Greenville, Holton Ehlers, who along with Reed Herring matriculated the ball down the field for ECU and giving them a 7-0 lead. Now, USF in their home opener against Georgia Tech, or their first big game against Georgia Tech, that man right there, Terrence Horn Jr. out of Miramar, Florida, ran back consecutive kickoffs for touchdowns. We just learned before kickoff tonight that he is out for the season with a knee injury. That's a terrible blow. Guy was averaging 47 yards a return.
Leading the country.
Yep. So D'Angelo Antoine, number 13, is going to be asked to step in to some very fast shoes. And he's got some moves, but he also has a lot of white, purple, and yellow around him. So he'll get out to about the 20-yard line. We'll take a look now at the junior, Blake Barnett. We mentioned Alabama, Arizona State were on his college football radar. He actually had a start at Alabama against USC, didn't last the game, and left the program, realizing that perhaps it wasn't the spot for him. Basically, he lost his job to Jalen Hurts.
Right, Jalen Hurts stepped in. Now Hurts knows how that feels, but I don't know that he's going to be leaving after 4 weeks like Barnett did. He ended up getting beat out by Manny Wilkins at Arizona State, So he left there and came here with 2 years of eligibility left.
And speaking of transfers from SEC schools, Jordan Cronkright, number 2 with the football, and he is a former Florida Gator. Alex Turner stops him after a couple. Cronkright played 24 games for the Gators, sat out last season under the transfer rules.
And he's averaging almost 6 yards a carry, and he's an exciting one to watch.
Barnett, no, down he goes. He is sacked. This East Carolina defense, Alex Turner gets his 3rd tackle for a loss this year, was the worst statistically in the country last year.
Yeah, they were really bad. But I tell you what, with a new coordinator, David Blackwell, they've changed everything. They are very aggressive up front. You'll see the ends. They'll create all kinds of havoc, rushing inside, all the way inside by the center sometimes to try and spill the football and help in the run game.
Little stunt there. Barnett stays in the pocket and missed the receiver, and USF goes 3 and out to start the ninth.
Good start for the Pirates. You had to wonder how they were going to come out after going through what they went through with the plight of their families on their mind throughout the past couple of weeks and not seeing home for the last 10, 11 days. It also helps build the team. They spent a lot of time together, and Scottie Montgomery was really happy about the way they behaved themselves and conducted themselves down in Orlando.
This is Trayvon Brown on the punt return, and they're going to wrap him up this time. Loss of 2 after a 52-yard punt. Chris Barr brought him down.
I get butterflies every time I walk into that stadium.
It's one of the top 5 atmospheres again in college football. Wish they'd save the whiteouts for other games.
That nervous energy, that's your body telling you you are ready.
It's going to be special Saturday on ABC. They're expecting a whiteout for this one. Top 10 matchup with enormous playoff implications between these two teams, both who won. Penn State on Friday and Ohio State today against Tulane at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central on ABC. And of course, if you're traveling, take that app on your phone, the ESPN app. Saturday Night Football brought to you by Wells Fargo. Series number 2 for ECU. Hussein Howe gets the carry, breaks 1 tackle, put his foot in the ground decisively there, and got a solid 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
And I like the way this offense is moving the football. They've no negative plays. That was the biggest problem they had last year when we spoke with the offensive coordinator, Tony Peterson. He said, way too many tackles for loss. We got behind the chains so much, and that puts a lot of pressure on your group. Now you get it down to 2nd and 6, you've got a whole different selection of plays to call where you can be aggressive here.
Now again, not going down very easily. It'll be 3rd down, about 1.5 yards here for this Pirate offense.
Got a nice push from the center, John Spellacy, number 58, who started all year last year as a true freshman, and he's the leader up there. And that kid is a good football player. He makes all the calls up front for the line, and they also like to pull him, move him around a little bit. He's that kind of athlete.
2 out of 2 on 3rd downs as Ehlers comes back in. Darius Penix is the tailback, number 7. It'll be Penix spinning, and he'll have a 1st down.
Yeah, where they marked it, they gave him a nice mark, and they'll move the chains.
That little spin move he made on contact was just what he needed to do.
I was impressed with Penix, too. I think he's a guy who deserves more carries. He averages 13 yards a tote thus far, but it's only a small sample.
Just 5 of them, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
But he busted one to the house. He makes a nice move there and then knows the situation that he's got to get a push to get that 1st down, and he got a little help from his tackle, Deontay Smith.
Empty backfield, Herring back in the game. Quick throw for Prohl. That is incomplete. Blake Prohl, whose brother Austin was at North Carolina. Of course, his father had a distinguished NFL career, Ricky Prohl.
He might be the best one of all of them. I mean, he's just a true
better
freshman.
than his dad even?
He's got a chance. He is as quick out of breaks as anybody I've seen. He runs meticulous routes. He's got really strong hands, size, speed. He's a burner. He can play a lot of football down the road here.
On 2nd and 10, this is going to be a straight keeper with Herring, and he is going to get dumped for a loss to the 35-yard line. Well read that time. Colin McGee, who's in a new position, playing full-time linebacker, ruined the play.
Yeah, watch McGee. He's got quarterbacks, so he's going to wait and keep his eyes on that guy, and then he's got the speed, being a former safety, to go ahead and cut off Herring and get him for a big loss.
Some help, too, there from Jawan Brown, 56. Now, 3rd down, 14.
And a lot of times they like to go right here to Prohl in that slot. Bend him over the middle.
Pressure up the middle. Herring pretty calm about the whole thing. Good coverage that time by Mike Hampton, number 7, and Brown was the intended receiver. It'll be 4th down and 14.
And Hampton and the Bulls are well aware of the back shoulder throws coming from the hand of Reed Herring, and that was an example of it. And he tries to get it to Trayvon Brown as often as anybody else, and those two hook up pretty good on that. That time it was just great coverage by Hampton.
Tyree McCants around the 20-yard line, awaiting the punt from the sophomore, John Young.
That's a big returner, 240 pounds.
Yep. Sideways wobble on this kick. McCants going to let it go. It's hooked a little bit out of bounds, actually. And let's see where they're going to end up marking that. The official is still jogging, and he stops at the 32-yard line. We want you to kick off your Week 3 NFL Sunday with ESPN at 10 a.m. Eastern. Our Sunday NFL Countdown crew of Rex, Charles, Matt, Randy, Mort, Shefty, and, of course, Samantha will have all the early breaking stories, injury updates, and preview every game right up to kickoff. And like everything else, it's live on the ESPN app, so you can watch it anywhere.
And I do.
You know, the Bulls had a very quiet first time around with the football, going 3 and out.
Yet to complete a pass.
And Cronkright very short, maybe a yard there. 2nd down and 9 coming up. Devon Sutton, number 42, up from his nickel position with a stop.
So far, I've been pretty impressed with this Pirate defense, stopping the run and getting after things. They're trying to set up a blitz off the edge here, it looks like. No, they don't.
And they go out to Cronkright instead. He's going to play off one block to the 35 and around the 40-yard line. He stepped out of bounds. They're going to say the 41. He needs a yard.
You see Cronkright left early, and that established the width, and he was able to outrun the linebacker or the nickel that was in the slot.
So on 3rd and 1, they go back to the running back. Cronkright, and the junior from Miami, picks up 3 and a 1st down.
Good push up front by this Bulls offensive line. 3 returning starters, the right guard, and both tackles.
And man, do they recruit the state of Florida. An overwhelming number of their players are from the Sunshine State. Watch here for number 20, Johnny Ford, who was checked in, a freshman out of Miami High School.
There he goes.
And he got behind the defense. Ford is about 5'5", bouncing off tacklers, and a big gain down to the 16-yard line.
They brought Ford in. He's only 5'5", so I guess you could see why the defense wouldn't find him. But he comes out of the backfield right here and just runs an arrow route straight up the field. And he gets behind the linebacker, and it was dropped in nicely.
And he'll hang on to the football there for a gain out to about the 13, a gain of 3 as Ramsewer on the stop.
Here he is again. Take a look at this route. He's just going to run straight up the field, past the linebackers, and then the ball is dropped perfectly over the top, and there was nobody home. Finally got chased down by Devon Sutton.
Staying on the ground is USF, and it's going to be Ford. We were tipped off. You know, coaches sometimes don't give you a lot of information, or they give you generic answers, but Charlie Strong tipped us off about Johnny Ford yesterday.
Yeah, he said, watch out for this kid. And he didn't tell us a whole lot, but he did throw in some nice praise for Johnny Ford.
He mentioned fast.
Yeah, he did.
And he was right about that. Cronkright disappears. He's in there somewhere. And once again, that's Alex Turner, number 94, for the Pirates with a stop. Gets a couple of yards there. 2nd down and goal coming up.
Turner's having his way up front right now. They haven't been able to block him effectively.
He is a junior out of Houston. Now, late substitution for USF. The 8th play of the drive coming up. That allows the Pirates to substitute.
They brought in tight end Mitch Wilcox, who is a favorite target down in this area and also a good blocker.
Straight ahead. I keep thinking, Ray, that Barnett's going to hang on to one of those and take off.
He tried it once and it didn't work out so well for him, but he'll be more apt to do it down in this area of the field. And, you know, if you go back to the last 38 games before this season started, you had a kid who could put it in the end zone, in Quentin Flowers.
He was spectacular. One of the most exciting players in all college football, Quentin Flowers, left behind a real legacy in Tampa. 3rd and goal. Barnett.
There he goes.
Touchdown Bulls.
Nice play call, partner.
Blind squirrel, acorn, whatever that expression is.
God bless you.
Yeah.
The sun hit you. And they must have saw what you saw, where the entire defense collapsed inside to try and stop the running back. Nobody stayed home. Somebody's got to have the discipline to keep their eyes right.
Oh, the PAT, somebody got a piece of that. It is no good. So Alex Turner looked like, again, was the disruptive force. So
they can't block him.
Nope. USF cannot get the tie, but they got the touchdown on the keeper by the junior from California, the part-time surfer, Blake Barnett.
ECU with a 1-point lead, and the reason is Alex Turner. He gets and fights through this middle and gets the block. Here he is right here, and watch the push he gets and fights through. They actually double-teamed the guy, and he snuck on the inside and blocked that thing. And Turner's been unblockable thus far.
That was the exclamation of a 9-play, 68-yard drive in 3 minutes and 34. And we'll see what the Pirates can do now to counterattack. This is Anthony Scott right up the middle, and they'll get to just shy of the 25-yard line. Scott's an interesting story in his own right. He's a little slow getting up, so we don't know if he's going to start this series at running back or not. He was an academic casualty as a junior, did not play at all last year, but didn't leave. Stuck with it, did what he had to do to get back with this football team, and the coaches couldn't be happier that he has turned things around in that department.
Yeah, in fact, Coach Montgomery told us he's turned into a leader for this football team. Did a complete 180 on the deal.
So Darius Penix, number 7, will be at the tailback spot as Scott gets himself together, and hopefully he'll be able to return. That's Penix. And he'll get 3 out of that. Gang tackled by that USF defense. Jamon Thomas, number 18. He himself an outstanding academician and a Werfel Trophy candidate in there on the stop, among others.
Reed Herring came out hot, Dave. First possession, hit on 4 of 6 for 76 yards. Second possession, he was 0 for 2, ran it once for -4. So he's got to get a little consistency to him.
Under pressure here, he's get this one off to Brown. I've got a feeling that we're going to see 7 versus 88 all night tonight here in Tampa, as Hampton and Brown seem to be partnered.
And that's a matchup I'm looking forward to. We saw Hampton miss one, but now he's made the last 2, and he's really a good cover man. He's got the great size for a corner, 6'1", 198-pounder.
There they are.
Just a sophomore.
Yep, out of Tampa.
And they're down here head-to-head again.
That's where they're going. And that is broken up by Hampton, and now a penalty marker comes in.
But who's it on? They were fighting each other. Usually it goes to on the defense if there's any question.
Pass interference, defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's a tough call for Mike Hampton. They're battling each other. Hampton's trying to go for the ball. I didn't see it in that particular look.
Unless there was something earlier, but right there, no, that just looked like 2 guys fighting for a football.
It almost looked like Brown was playing defense and Hampton was the receiver.
Yeah, that didn't go over well on the big board when that one was shown here.
The
Bulls fans not overjoyed with that. First down, under 2.5 to go in this opening quarter of this American Conference matchup.
I haven't seen a lot of pressure or blitzes yet from the Bulls. They love to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, they're going to go on the ground. Penix one more time, and he runs right into McGee, a senior out of Northwestern High in Miami. Picks up a solid 5 there.
And Penix outweighs McGee by about 15 pounds. You know, McGee switched from safety at the end of the year, played 3 games at linebacker last year, and has earned the starting spot this year. He bulked up. He put on about 15, 20 pounds, but he's still only 213. That's not real big for the middle in there.
19th play, and it'll be their 10th run. Very balanced approach so far for the Pirates. Thomas with another stop there. So you're looking at 3rd down and just a couple here.
Yeah, and they're doing a nice job of staying ahead of the chains. This is going to be in a 3rd down. This is where you'd want it.
And Ehlers is back in, the running quarterback, number 12. An overwhelming percentage of the time, the Pirates run the ball when he's in. Keeper. Well, McGee got him early, and the extra fight. Well,
he's going to be just short.
It's either going to be 4th and extremely short, or it's going to be a 1st down.
He's got to get to the 40-yard line, and I think they've got him marked just shy of that. But they'll go for it here. There's no doubt in my mind. And you'll probably see the same play with Ehlers trying to get a push. He's a big kid at 236 pounds, 6'3". He can move a pile.
Here's the pile. He moves it. 1st down, ECU, under a minute to go in the quarter.
And those are dangerous plays when you have a team that is primarily a shotgun team, and now you go up under center and anything can happen because you don't get a lot of reps doing that. But they've had enough to make it work as Holton Ehlers moves the chains.
And Anthony Scott has come into the game also, the tailback number 3, as we count down toward the end of a very good opening 1st quarter. Fake to Scott. He wants his man, Brown, who had about a half a step on Hampton. And it's going to be 2nd down and 10. If we do the Ocho again, these two might get their own show.
Yeah, nice double move by Brown. He got a little bit of separation, and had it been a good, perfect throw, it would have been a nice deal. Just threw it a little bit outside, a little too wide. You got to give him room to make the catch and stay in bounds. And I think that Reed Herring will get better at it as he goes, but that's probably the last one that comes to you.
Ehlers is back in at quarterback. Now, will they run a little trick play? They do. Reverse it. This is Ferrier, and USF tends to have a pretty fast defense, and they read that one beautifully. Nick Roberts came up from his strong safety position, a redshirt freshman out of Jacksonville, number 24, and ruined it. It'll be 3rd down and 10, and that will be the end of the opening quarter. Very good start to this football game in the American Conference with ECU. The early advantage thanks to a blocked extra point. Second quarter begins with ECU and USF territory. 3rd down and 10. Herring gets rid of it very quickly into double coverage for Prohl. Broken up. It'll be 4th down and 10. Hoggins in there on the coverage in that nickelback position.
And Herring threw that ball just a trifle early and behind Prohl. I thought he was open on it when he first made his cut, but then Hoggins closed in quickly and the ball wasn't thrown perfectly. And I didn't think they had to get it all on that one, Dave. They're in 4-down territory, especially with Holton Ehlers as your ace in the hole on 4th downs.
But it looks like they've got a little breeze at their backs, too, here. It's a beautiful evening in Tampa, by the way. It's humid, of course. It's Florida. But reasonable temperature for this time of the year. John Young, a former West Virginia Mountaineer, punts it high and too short, I think, unless it... Actually, a smart play there to fair catch that, because if he lets that go, that could have really rolled toward the end zone. 20 yards on the punt. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell at a special time tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. This could be an October preview because it's Boston and Cleveland from Progressive Field, downtown Cleveland. You got real talent in this game. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern on ESPN2 with baseball tonight. Sunday Night Countdown. Both are streaming live on the ESPN app. And right now, Cleveland is in front 4-2. Eovaldi against Kluber, the scheduled matchup. Man, Kluber's good, too. That Cleveland team is being overlooked, Ray, because everybody talks about the Red Sox. But that is an out. If they win the American League, I'm not going to be surprised.
Yeah, I live in Red Sox country, and you're right. That's all they talk about. That and, of course, the Patriots.
And I understand it, by the way. The Sox are, record-setting season, but still, just, be on the lookout here. So 2nd down and 5 after the initial run. Barnett going to fire. He's going to find a man open. That will be a first down, 34-yard line. A catch by a redshirt freshman who has been an early sensation, Randall St. Felix, out of Miami. He gains 10.
Yeah, Sterling Gilbert, the offensive coordinator for the Bulls, said he calls him St. Randall. And the kid's been playing like a Saint. And he ran a little comeback route there, which is almost impossible to defend, and it's the favorite route in this offense.
That's his 17th catch already this year. Barnett wants to go long.
Got him.
Wide open. And this is going to be a touchdown for Darnell Solomon. "66 yards to the Miami Central High product."
It's a fake quick screen. Barnett gives the pump. Those guys act like they're going to block. Solomon takes off down the sideline, and nobody home for ECU. Kind of got him to bite on that cheese a little bit and then hit him long.
That is Barnett's 8th touchdown pass of the season, and 4 of those have gone to the junior receiver, Solomon. Now, the last PAT was rejected. Watch for Big 94 in the middle here again in white as he shifts over. Sees a gap, but he can't get his hands on that one.
Not going to fool him twice.
So Blake Barnett, has he indeed found a home on the west coast of Florida after stops in Alabama and Arizona State? Can't get much easier than that one. First time tonight, USF has taken the lead. Darnell Solomon's 4th touchdown pass of the season from 66 yards out, capping off a 3-play, 81-yard drive in 63 seconds. And Blake Barnett is 4 of 5 for 123 yards. And we're going to show you how they got so wide open here in a moment. Here's Anthony Scott, and he's getting a chance to go wide open, and he'll get out to the 40-yard line, and the kicker takes him down.
Well, let's go back to that touchdown, have another look, and you're going to see Darnell Solomon. He's right here. But watch these defensive backs attack once they think that's the screen. All 3 guys got sucked up, only 2 back, but nobody on Solomon. That's a sneaky little play there.
Sterling Gilbert is the play caller. USF, for the first time in 4 years, had their 2 coordinators return. They've been going through coordinators like crazy. And, of course, Charlie Strong's in his 2nd year here. And he brought in a lot of the guys he had from Texas. And they have worked out well.
Corner blitz.
Big-time corner blitz. And they missed the tackle. So Anthony Scott ran past the blitzer, picked up 8. Roberts on the stop.
Looked like Devondre Robinson was the blitzer coming off the edge. And he whiffed. And that's a nice move by Scott, seeing where that pressure came from and knowing he's got room if he can get by that initial tackler.
They need 2. They got 1. 3rd down and a yard coming up. Short gain. McGee is in on yet another tackle. He is 13th in the country in tackles and leads the American Conference. Scott's going to check out. Here comes Holton Ahlers again, number 12. And he brings Darius Penix, number 7, with him.
And one of these times, Ahlers is going to fake that run and throw one over their heads. I just don't know when it's going to happen, but I know they've got it in their mix.
Ahlers going to keep it, and he's going to get a first down and plenty more plays off. A nice block from Watley, and he'll get into Bulls territory to the 39-yard line.
And it looks like they're going to leave him in there and keep going, but he has great vision. That's one thing I saw on the film watching him preparing for this game was he doesn't just slam up in there. He's got really good vision and is able to make the cuts and get to where he needs to.
Here could be your pass. The lefty is going to throw it up and nobody home. Trying to get to Brown, and guess what? Hampton was right with him. It'll be 2nd down and 10, and just like that, Reed Herring returns to quarterback.
Yeah, that's the shot they wanted to take, and they've taken their share of them. That's the 5th time they've gone over top so far here tonight. They will try to expand your defense vertically down the field.
Tony Peterson is calling the plays for ECU, but this is the Scottie Montgomery passing offense for sure. Herring underneath. Immediate hit. Prohl got hit right away by Nick Roberts. Short gain to the 36. Going to set up 3rd down and 7 now.
You're going to get a blitz here from Nico Sawtell, and Reed Herring saw it and once again had to dump it down to his hot receiver. Couldn't let the routes develop. He wanted to go to the trip side up top, but he saw the blitz and had to fire it out of there.
Empty backfield here for the Pirates. 3rd down, they're going to call it 6. Down long and almost intercepted by Hampton. That time he was matched up against DeAndre Ferrier. And it'll be 4th and 6, and a decision here for Scottie Montgomery to go for it or not.
Hampton actually was covering a different guy, Dave, and he sloughed off the coverage. He's going to show up from the bottom of the screen. He had another spot he was covering, and he just made a play with his eyes and almost with his hands.
Well, Brown was out on that play. 88 is back in. And the decision to go for it on 4th and 6. That was Brown that Ray just circled there. Bulls rush 4. They go the other way toward the mark. Going to be close.
He didn't get it.
Terrell Green was brought down short.
And you see it so many times. The guy catches the ball near the sticks and he tries to make a move. Just get upfield. If you get upfield, you're going to move those chains. As it is, South Florida football.
Thank you, Mrs. O'Brien from Clearwater Central Catholic High School for inspiring me.
Thank you, teachers.
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 Thank you, teachers, for going the extra yard.
Extra Yard for Teachers Week is an annual salute to teachers supported by the College Football Playoff Foundation and its college football partners. That is Nico Sawtell, a junior from Jensen Beach. He will graduate this semester with a public health degree. Would love to get an education master's and become a teacher. His mom, Lisa, taught elementary school, and his dad, Mike, is the head of phys ed and at Jensen Beach, a legend in volleyball coaching. 4 state championships over 20 years. So after the hold on downs, the takeover on downs by the Bulls, Blake Barnett brings out the offense. There's the pass they didn't throw on the touchdown, and that's Tyree McCants. An interesting build on a receiver listed at 5'11", 240 as the slot guy.
And he's all of that, Dave. And I love the play call, though, Sterling Gilbert coming right back to that look, and this time throwing it out there, kind of almost mocking him.
And that time, a very short gain, straight ahead run. It'll be 3rd down and a couple. Johnny Ford, and there is Gilbert. And a lot of offensive coaches like to go upstairs. They feel like they can see the field. Here's the guy calling plays from field level.
Yeah, and that means he's got a good guy upstairs being eyes for him, because it's hard to see what you need to see from the sideline. The advantage you get is you get to get right in your guy's face, look them in the eyes, take their temperature, and give them what they need to keep playing hard.
On 3rd and 2, Ford just, if he was taller, he might have had a first down. Devondre Robinson cut him down, and I don't think he got there. Nope, the 4 is up on the yard marker. So Charlie Strong, how aggressive does he want to be?
He's going to kick this one, and I don't blame him.
He wants to go for it.
Yeah, Sterling Gilbert's like, come on, man, I got one for this.
But Charlie's background is defense.
Yeah, and he's just soon play a little field position game here. His defense, since that first drive, has been very good.
Well, USF has been dealing from the bottom of the deck in their last couple of games against Georgia Tech and Illinois, where they've had to make double-digit rallies as Trayvon Brown has had enough of that. And he got to the sideline safely. Well, we talked about the ridiculous amounts of rainfall. That is the Greenville area right there. They took just a beating from Florence, which thankfully had slowed on the winds a little bit when it made landfall, but the amounts of rain were absurd. So on the 11th, the university canceled classes. The Virginia Tech game is postponed. Folks in Blacksburg weren't happy about it, but too bad. They evacuate to Orlando on the 12th, and they've been there ever since. And then they had to really survive a headache. They had to drive across I-4 to get to Tampa.
We all know how fun that is.
No, it is not. Hussein Howell, by the way, on the carry for 6. Second down coming up at about 4. And there's the One Carolina logo that everybody busted out today in North and South Carolina as a show of solidarity. By the way, the team that East Carolina beat a couple of weeks ago, North Carolina, handily beat Pitt today in the ACC. So
it's a crazy world.
Man, is it ever. Herring broken up. This is another show in itself, these two right here, Brown and Hampton.
A battle inside the war right here. Those guys have been going at it, and that was a great close by Hampton to get there. That's hard to do on a quick out pass, especially when you've got to respect the deep ball, which they've thrown 3 times already to Trayvon Brown.
And they may come back at him again here on 3rd and 4. Looking that way. They're going to go down a little bit deeper, and it's incomplete. And Brown was the intended receiver that time, so it'll be 4th down and 4. Now, are they giving Hampton any help, USF?
Not right now. I mean, it's been pretty much mano-a-mano. And that time, Herring had his tight end, Anthony Watley, in the flat. Probably enough for a first down. I thought he made a bad decision in trying to hit that 7 route, the corner route, over the top.
So McCants is back deep, waiting for the punt from John Young, who last time took a lot off of it, but got it just inside the 20-yard line. This time he can let it out a little bit.
Tipped it.
Yep. No penalty because the punt was tipped and it almost hit a U.S. In fact, Hampton was running down to help out McCants, and that ball almost hit him. That punt still went 42 yards, but USF got a piece of that punt. Well, if you'd like to help the victims of Hurricane Florence, and we talk about the amount of rainfall, but sometimes you forget about how long it can take for some of these communities to get their power back, to get life back to normal, to get supplies back to the way things are, to the grocery stores and even the hardware stores. We'd love you to help if you can go to www.redcross.org/ESPN. It was a little more than a year ago. The entire state of Florida was blanketed, and Tampa had one of the few football games played that weekend here against Illinois, USF and the Illini. So it can be devastating to an area as McCants picks up about 3 on that one. Cannon Gibbs on the stop. Name your son Cannon someday. He better play football.
Officials holding it until both teams are ready because the offense substituted. The defense was allowed to do so as well.
Little pitch. That's Cronkrite. He's going to have to ad-lib this, and man, did ECU finish that off. Tim Irvin, who played at Auburn, number 1, led the parade.
Yeah, you're going to see a whole lot of white shirts show up, and then watch someone coming from the backside, and they come in and make the big hit. And that was Shandon Hickerson, a defensive end, who made it down the line and then chased it down.
So 3rd and long, Barnett airs it out, and it's broken up at the 40-yard line. Solomon, who had the long touchdown, was the intended receiver, and Michael Witherspoon, a junior from Lawrenceville, Georgia, broke it up. It'll be 4th and long.
And Witherspoon's getting the start tonight because Colby Gore is out. He's in the concussion protocol. And he got beat initially, but he stays with it. And then the deal is when that receiver's eyes get big, the ball's coming. Get your hand between his hands, and you got a chance. And that's exactly what happened with Michael Witherspoon.
So Trayvon Brown on the field to receive this punt from Trent Schneider, an Australian who spent 8 years as a construction worker. Brown sees an opening here, and he's got some room. And he'll take that down to the 45-yard line. So the Pirates have excellent field position when they get the football back. ECU scored on their opening possession, but the South Florida defense has held them down since then.
The College Football Playoff lives on ESPN.
Pirates and Bulls here at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, where there'll be a Monday night game. Steelers coming to town. There's already Steelers fans checking into the hotels.
Yeah.
So the Pirates trying to get going here, and that's going to be Penix, and he dragged some tacklers to the 49-yard line in USF territory. Sophomore from Elon is Penix, and you see also that's a different logo for ECU today. That is the Carolinas put together with the pirate head there.
Going all out for the one Carolina, and rightly so.
Penix tripped up. Back to the line of scrimmage he goes. Now you've got 3rd down and 4 coming up.
Kevin Bronson makes that tackle, backup interior lineman. And this defense, after the first series, they've settled down.
Yeah, there's no doubt. ECU was 3 out of 4 at the beginning on 3rd downs. They're now 1 of their last 5.
Brian Jean-Marie, the defensive coordinator, got in some people's ear, it looks like.
That is he right there with that bright green hat on. Herring hit right after he threw it, and it's incomplete. It was in and out of the hands of Ferrier. Fourth down and 4 coming up, and looks like the punt team is coming out.
And they run a crossing route, a scissors route, and see Prohl right here? That's where the ball needs to go. He's wide open, but instead they stuck it in the middle. However, if you catch the football, which would be a reasonable request, that would have been a first down.
Pressure. Young has had a punt partially blocked already today. And a fair catch made, we think, at the 20-yard line. Yes, the play has been blown dead. 30 yards on that punt. So Blake Barnett got off the first series, was 3 and out. Having a quick word from his play caller right there.
Yeah, he is 7 of 8 since that first series, Dave, with a touchdown toss and 129 yards. He's settled in fairly nicely.
And he has settled in his life, it seems. Married with a young son, Brooks. Ooh, that was almost a pick 6.
I'm surprised nobody's jumping on that football.
Kendall Futrell with a swat, incomplete, the ruling on the field. 2nd down and 10.
Let's see if this thing is a backwards pass at all. Nope, it's forward, but those are the kind of balls you jump on. I mean, let the official call it and make sure you got it covered. But a nice play getting upfield, and that's what this defensive line does now. And they're blitzing as well.
Barnett in a little bit of trouble, ran into his own man, trying to run in a phone booth, no chance. Alex Turner will get the credit for the tackle, but Jalen Price, also 93, helped out. And tell you what, this Pirate defense is so much better than it was a year ago.
I tell you what, David Blackwell deserves a lot of credit for turning this thing around. As you said, Dave, they were the worst defense in the country last year, giving up 540-plus yards and 45 points a game. That was both of those, 129th in CFB.
Pressure again on Barnett. He gets away and avoids the sack and dumps it off to Cronkright, who will be short of the first down, and a very late penalty marker comes in.
There were about 3 linemen downfield because the play took so long. It was a screen pass, but the ball was caught beyond the line of scrimmage. So they're going to have an illegal lineman downfield, and you can choose from about 3 of them.
Illegal man downfield, offense number 78. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
I was going to back him up way back. Bruce Bivens was the one to put the initial pressure on Barnett here.
Yeah, little stunt move. They bring 6, and Barnett had to just get out of there and escape. You see, there's 3 offensive linemen downfield. They could have picked anybody. Atterbury's saying, why are you picking on me? But he was the farthest down than the rest of them.
Maybe that's how they determine who's the guilty party.
There's another flag out there now. I don't know if both of them were for the same thing.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Both are against the defense. Pass interference, offense number 89 for blocking downfield. Ineligible player downfield, offense number 79. Both of those penalties will be declined. It is 4th down.
All right, he misspoke there, got his defense and offense mixed up, but instead of 3rd and very long, they're going to go ahead and take the football here on 4th down.
Good decision there. Get that football back. Defense did a nice job with another stand.
That's the 4th 3 and out for the ECU defense this evening. Whoa, this punt is rocketed. Man, that's going to check up beautifully. A tremendous punt by the sophomore from Sydney, Australia, Trent Schneider. Coming up on SportsCenter tonight at 1:30 a.m., or actually Sunday morning at 1:30 a.m. Eastern, it'll be Herbie and Fowler on the Pac-12 Showdown, Stanford and Oregon. Urban Meyer came back to coaching today, and Ohio State handled Tulane. And, of course, we'll have the best from week number 4. And you can always find it on the app.
There's a discussion going on about where to mark this football. It got kicked into the end zone and wasn't properly down. You see right here, it got slapped. It looks like it just rolls into the end zone.
It's originally spotted,
so you didn't down it
at the 13-yard line.
You got to down the ball.
Yeah, that's just a mental error. Everybody kind of froze. What is it about the punts these days? We happened to be in Arkansas last week for the famous 80-yard fake.
Fake fair catch.
Yep.
Went viral in no time.
During the game. Hand off on a little wham, and Penix, getting a lot of carries tonight, is brought down by Josh Black after a 6-yard gain.
Penix showed some good feet there. He made a man miss in the hole. He could have been stopped for a little or no gain, and instead olayed the tackler and picked up 7 yards.
His average was 13 beforehand. It's going to go down a little bit. 7 carries, 27 yards. Herring, little dump off here, and this is Watley, and he'll get a first down. He's dumped at the 35-yard line, make it the 36 by Wilkins. That's a solid gain of 10.
And that was the first RPO that I've seen tonight from this ECU offense, which has been in the past couple of games a big part of what they do, where the quarterback will make a decision after the snap on whether to hand it off or make a throw. He made a nice decision there. Watley wide open.
Penix trying to get to the outside. Not going to happen. The play was ruined originally by Dwayne Boyles Jr., number 11, and then he had some help in green and gold, so big loss there. It'll be 2nd down and long.
Good discipline on the defense, staying in your gaps and turning it back in the other way.
2nd and 15. A quick word with Charlie Strong, who may have noticed something that he didn't like. A little coaching up there from the former defensive coordinator one time with the Florida Gators. He's still very popular among Gator fans. Anthony Scott with a carry. Busts through that next level, and Scott will push this all the way out to make it 3rd down and 1. Nick Roberts saved a first down. That's a 14-yard pickup for the senior.
This is a nice little play call. They had everything set up. Every time they've motioned Prohl over there into that number 3 position in trips, they've thrown the ball in that direction. This time they handed it off and ran it off the other way and caught the Bulls defense thinking something else was going on.
They leave Herring in on this 3rd and short. Penix, first down.
And they're able to do that because Watley is now healthy. And that means that they can bring in the rookie, Johnny Bogle, true freshman, who started the previous couple of games as a second tight end, so they can run a better power formation. And they didn't have that luxury before Watley got healthy.
He missed the first 2 games for the Pirates, who were only 1-1. Their 3rd game of the season at Virginia Tech didn't happen. Anthony Scott on this carry, brought down to midfield, short gain there, clean tackle by Kirk Livingstone. Their outstanding student athlete, all academic on the honor roll. Kevin Kegler also in there.
Livingstone made a nice play because that thing almost got by him, but his quick change of direction allowed him to get in there and grab a leg.
And the battle continues. Our sideshow tonight, Trayvon Brown versus Mike Hampton, and that's a chalk mark on the Hampton side. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
And Reed Herring missed it. Prohl again, who was open, probably enough for the first down, but he's trying to go get more and throw it down the field. And I don't blame him trying to get it to Trayvon Brown, who comes up with a lot of those 50-50 balls. Not so much tonight. 8 targets, just 2 grabs. Give Hampton the credit for that.
Looking in that direction again, and instead it's Prohl who's wide open, and he'll get down to the 30-yard line as he bounced off of Roberts, and Roberts came back and made the stop. That's a 20-yard pickup. And time running out here, 1:09 to go.
They're going to run a wheel route right here, and that's going to allow Prohl to get open on the inside because they paid so much attention to him. See that corner, Hampton was hanging way out on the outside, respecting that wheel route.
Both teams have all 3 of their timeouts remaining in the half. Very fast second quarter, and this time a comeback, and Brown was able to shake Hampton and pick up 12 down to the 18-yard line. McGee came up to make the stop.
Actually, it looked like to me 24 Nick Roberts was the man in coverage that time. We didn't have our usual matchup.
Takes the first charge time out of the half.
I just assumed it was Hampton
30-second timeout.
without looking.
Yeah, I don't blame you because that's what it's been all night.
And perhaps ECU noticed that matchup had changed a little bit as well.
Yeah, the heart started beating a little faster. It's like, hey, we got something here. Take another look at it. And nice job of Herring looking to his right first to hold that safety in the middle and then make everybody else relax just a little bit. They think they're on the backside, and then they zip it out the other way. That's as nice a play as Reed Herring has made today.
Yeah, moving with the eyes, but a good quarterback will do. Reed Herring settling in, the sophomore out of Raleigh, North Carolina. We've seen also a lot of Holton Ahlers tonight, and we may see him again in the red zone, although 48 seconds ago, things have to happen quickly.
Yeah, at this point, I think you take a couple of shots into that end zone, and I'd probably be looking for number 88 down there, or up there at the top of the screen.
10th play of the drive, and on this drive, Herring has completed 3 out of 4. And it's almost intercepted. Mazzy Wilkins stepped in front. Looks like Deans was the intended receiver, and this nearly went the other way.
Well, Herring looked initially for Trayvon Brown. It wasn't there, and it's dangerous when you come back the other side and try to throw one down the middle. And he almost had to pay for it.
That would have been Wilkins' 4th career interception. 44 seconds remaining. On the stunt. Going to go for it all right here, and it harmlessly incomplete. 3rd down and 10, 39 seconds remaining. Ferrier, the intended receiver there.
Yeah, and Ronnie Hoggins Jr. cut off the route, and there was no way Ferrier could get there. And so the throw was ill-timed because of that. Great defense from Hawkins.
With 1 to snap it, Herring will throw it. Now, it might have been a mix-up, or he might have thrown it away because it looked like Hussein Howell was well covered, and a marker hits the 15-yard line. Now, this ought to be interesting.
Pass interference. Defense number 54. Spot foul. Automatic. First down.
Well, that is Nico Sawtell.
And he's got man-to-man coverage on the back. You see him humping it over there, and he knows he's late, and you can't hit the receiver when the ball's in the air, even though it wasn't catchable.
It was out of bounds when he hit it. No,
I agree, but
you just don't give him an excuse.
No, I don't blame him, and so it's a tough call.
I just find that to be completely the living definition of an uncatchable pass.
Yeah, and they're talking about it now.
Well, they should be. And you know what? They've had a chance to look at the big scoreboard. And nope, they're going to stick with it.
They're going to change
another one of the
marker.
Yep, they're the sons of Hockley are out there today. The guys with the officials with the big guns, and they're going to stick with it. First down at the 15-yard line. Little pitch out, could be a pass. Yep, trying to get it back to Herring. Brown's going to take off. USF read that nicely. That stops the clock with 27 seconds to go.
All right, here you go. You got the old toss to the outside. Quarterback trying to sneak out the back door. It wasn't there. A nice look by Trayvon Brown. He saw, nope, that's not going to happen, and he just made the best of it.
Second down and 12. They lost 2 on that gadget play. They have a good kicker in Jake Verity, who's 5 for 5 in field goals this year. Short gain there to Prohl to the 10. Clock running. And now it's stopped by East Carolina with 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Use that
ECU
timeout.
takes their second charge timeout of the half.
Still have one left.
This is a full 1-minute timeout.
If they have to kick a field goal, save that one to stop it. But this way the entire field is open to you. Third down here coming up in 5. So they can get a first down to stop the clock as well. I would not be surprised if USF decides to dial up some pressure on this. Talked to Brian Jean-Marie about his philosophy towards that, and he said, we like to bring it. I mean, if we can, and we can cover in the secondary, we're going to get after the quarterback right from getting off the bus.
Yep, third down and 5 coming up as the 14th play of the drive will be coming up for ECU. 50% on third downs. Blake Barnett, part of that 138 yards, a 66-yard hookup to a wide open Darnell Solomon. Herring stays in a quarterback for ECU as Barnett will watch his opposite number here on third down and 5.
See if they don't go back to Prohl again, sitting right down here.
Or do they go to the fade, maybe to Brown? Herring will keep it. Herring, that should be, they may have stopped him just short, and Herring could be shaken up a little bit too.
I think he's got a tough mark. That should have been marked as a first down.
Well, the clock's going to stop with 15 seconds to go. And Herring having a little problem with the left leg. Bronson tripped him up.
He had to get to the 5-yard line.
Well, let's see here. We haven't heard from the replay booth yet today. We might on this one.
Herring notices.
By rule, with a player who is injured under 1 minute, there is a 10-second runoff, or ECU can take a timeout to avoid that. They will take their third and final charge timeout of the half.
I'm also a little bit surprised at the initial spot. The official from the far side of the field spotted him a little shy of the 5-yard line.
Yeah, and they haven't spotted the ball. The official's just holding on to it right now. But it looks like they've moved the chains now so that they gave him a first down.
So Herring a little tentative here. So we might have seen Holton Ahlers in this situation anyway, but he will have to come out for the play at least. But now East Carolina is without a timeout. They decided to burn one rather than have that 10-second runoff, which would have left us with only 5 seconds. And now you're right, Ray.
Correction. The first down will avoid the possibility of a 10-second runoff.
That's what I was.
First down, stop the clock, and not the injured player.
Well, they just.
ECU is given their timeout back. They will have one remaining.
And they just now, right before the referee made that little speech, changed the marker from a 3 to a 1. They never did put a 4 in there.
Their mechanics weren't right. You have to spot the football first and foremost, and then you go off of that. And they finally did get it correct.
So Ahlers, and he does have that timeout. He's in trouble, and down he goes, sacked at the 12. And the timeout, Scottie Montgomery, a third of the way on the field to make the call on the timeout as Josh Black came in unblocked.
ECU takes their third and final charge timeout of the half. This is the 30-second timeout.
Big play by Black. There you see nobody touched Black. He came off the edge, and Holton Ahlers had nowhere to go with the football. And he didn't really try to take a timeout. He's a young quarterback. That's why Scottie Montgomery ran out onto the field to get it called.
Jake Verity. You'll never have Reed Herring as the holder here because Verity wears the same number as Herring. So your holder is the punter, John Young. This will be from 28 for Verity, who hasn't missed a kick. And stays perfect on the season as the clock will run out. First score since the opening drive for ECU. So they score on their first drive of the half. They score on their last drive of the half. USF will head to the dressing room with the advantage, 13-10, and they will get the football to start the third quarter. Good action in the American tonight on a humid evening on the west coast of Florida. Halftime in Tampa. This American Conference tilt's been a very good one with ECU taking on USF. The Pirates coming off of a break that they didn't plan on and dealing with Hurricane Florence. They took a week off last week, having had their game against Virginia Tech canceled. By the way, Virginia Tech lost today to Old Dominion. I don't know. Make out of it what you will. Maybe they didn't handle the rust as well, but ECU certainly didn't look rusty when they first got the football.
No, they came out slinging the football, and Reed Herring was sharp right from the get-go. He hits DeAndre Ferrier on an RPO here across the middle, getting the chains moving, and then he finds his favorite target, Trayvon Brown, and Hampton thought he was already down or the ball was out or whatever, but he just let him go, and that sets up this Ahlers touchdown run as ECU got on the board first, and they were pretty happy about it. And I thought they executed really well, not only in that first drive, Dave, but then later on in the final drive when they got their points. They're doing some nice things right now, and they just need to keep it up and sustain it.
Yeah, interestingly, they scored on their first drive of the half and their last drive of the half when they got the field goal. Now USF has also had some moments offensively, too. We may have seen a star in the making here in Johnny Ford. And again, Darnell Solomon gets behind the defense.
Yeah, and it all starts with the quarterback, Blake Barnett, who has been pretty good. Not great here tonight, but this was a good way to get things going to the young freshman running back, Johnny Ford, on a little shoot route up the middle. He makes a big play, and this allows Barnett to go on a naked bootleg untouched into the end zone. And then they hit the big one, as you mentioned, to Darnell Solomon on a fake quick screen, and a guy won't get more open than this. And count it, 6 more for USF as they take that 13-10 lead here at halftime.
So you see the success and then the failures at times for ECU when they've had the football in their 7 drives. And Blake Barnett, he hasn't had many starts in his career, but he has looked very steady so far. And he has a rushing touchdown for USF. The difference is an extra point blocked after USF's first touchdown drive. beautiful evening to watch the American Conference on ESPN from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa with Ray Bentley, Dave Lamont, and our ESPN crew. A rowdy yard here at Ray J.
And they've been treated to a good half of football thus far, Dave. Only 2 penalties in this ball game. It's been really cleanly played. Good plays on both sides, both teams, both offense and defense.
No penalties on the Pirates in that opening half. And the 2 on USF, not even 20 yards for the penalties. You take a look at Blake Barnett. His unit will get the ball first. Pretty clean game played by the junior. And the nice news for Sterling Gilbert, the coordinator, and of course for head coach Charlie Strong is Barnett has 2 years here in Tampa. So they can really start to open things up as the year goes along and in the next year.
Yeah, he could get a master's. He's already graduated.
Yeah.
So he's got his bachelor's degree and he's got 2 more years to go after whatever else he wants educationally.
So with Terrence Horn out of action for the remainder of the season, unfortunately, if you watched the USF Georgia Tech game, you saw Horn run back 2 kickoffs on consecutive kickoffs for touchdowns. And it was revealed tonight that he has a torn ACL and will be lost for the season. And that is just awful news, but he's a freshman and he's young, so I'm sure he'll get great care and heal as quickly as possible. And there he is.
Yeah, and he'll get a red shirt out of this year, being a true freshman and only playing in a couple of games.
So now Barnett. He'll have the former Gator Jordan Cronkright in the backfield with him. He wants to come out throwing. Going to go deep down the field, and it is well defended that time by Corey Sargent, number 5, a senior from Rock Hill, South Carolina. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And Blake Barnett has to learn to get some air under the ball. He just throws pretty much a straight shot missile on the deep ball. You want to try and drop it in over the top of that defensive back. And that one, the height of that ball allowed Sargent to come up and make a play on it. Yep. I like taking the shot. First play of the series, first play of the half coming out, and just put that in that defense's mind. Back them up a little bit. It'll open up things for you down the road.
And Barnett stepping into the pocket, gets the throw off that time. The ball is fumbled. Now it's a recovery by East Carolina. Witherspoon falls on the ball, and the ruling on the field is a catch and a fumble, and it's the first turnover by USF.
And I think this is a good call. We'll take another look at it.
On the field is a catch and a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, ECU.
Barnett did a great job of waiting for that thing to come open. And Devondre Robinson with the hit, forcing that fumble.
He's nicknamed Tank. And Witherspoon wound up with the ball at the 40-yard line. So D'Angelo Antoine getting some extra playing time at receiver today with Horn out. And a couple of other players missing for USF, including Bronson.
Yep, Rasheed Bronson out of this one.
So a sudden change, and we'll see how USF's defense manages it, and they take care of Anthony Scott for a loss of a yard here. It'll be 2nd down and 11.
And they brought an extra man off the edge, totally unblocked, and that's him getting up off the bottom of the pile. Number 18, Jamon Thomas. Like Thomas coming again, he is.
They throw it in the other direction, caught, and it's very close to the first down. Looks like they're going to give it to Terrell Green on one side of the field, and on the other they do not. So the line judge gets the last word. He'll be a yard short. 3rd down and 1 coming up.
Another impressive read by Reed Herring. He saw that blitz coming and got the ball out quick to where he had to, and I think that's a product of this being his 3rd year in this offense.
Holton Ahlers comes in as the running quarterback for the Pirates. Boy, ECU really late getting a player on the field, and it didn't matter as Darius Penix was able to get the first down. Now a flag coming in from the referee as Johnny Bogle ran in just about the time the ball was snapped.
And he was in motion towards the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Is the penalty that they can call on this. Had he been running laterally, I don't know that there would have been a call.
You just don't see that.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 84. 5-yard penalty, third down.
That's the first penalty on the Pirates, and it's one of the stranger ones you'll ever see.
Yeah, that's as false a start as you can get, I guess.
I mean, there's a lot wrong there.
Yeah.
But they obviously counted the numbers and realized they were a man short. He just forgot to get out there.
Yeah,
he won't forget that again.
No, the freshman will learn.
Reed Herring back in a quarterback, and instead of first down, it's 3rd and 6.
Got that empty look.
USF rushes 4, and that is very close to a first down. The catch by Ferrier, but
short.
Yeah,
they had to get to the 30. And boy, Herring stuffed that one into a very tight window.
Now here comes Holton Ahlers as you take a look at the replay and double check the spot.
I thought it was a good spot.
Yep, Sawtell made a very quick tackle, so they do have the running QB in on 4th down and inches.
Going to get up under center again, see if he can blast it.
Wow. I don't want to have to be in charge of spotting this football, but it looks like, well, at the end of the play, he
got it.
He's got it. Yeah, he does have it. The head linesman makes the call.
He got an assist at the end. It looked to me like it was Bogle who came in and pushed him.
And it looks like he's going to stay in. They're now 2 out of 3 today on 4th down opportunities, the Pirates. We've seen Ahlers throw the ball once today. He's thrown 2 passes all season. He'll keep it. Good run there. And not an easy guy to bring down, as we mentioned. He's a big fella. Gets about 15. Jamon Thomas was able to wrap him up and take him down, but a big gain.
Great decision on the zone read. There's nobody here to get him. So why not just take it up the field and then get what you can and then be physical at the end. And he's big enough to be physical, almost 240 pounds coming at you.
The USF really cheating against that. If they are.
False start, offense number 67. 5-yard penalty, first down.
They got Deontay Smith, the left tackle, and he saw what you saw, Dave. There was a whole bunch of green shirts crowding that line of scrimmage, and he wanted to get a little bit of a head start, and he did, and it cost him.
I think that was another one where there were several culprits, and the officials just settled on one number. So Herring back in, hands to Penix, and you could see number 94, Kirk Livingstone, just jump on his back immediately. A short gain, and we have an ECU Pirate who is shaken up on the play. One of their linemen, that's 55, Garrett McGinn, a senior from Tallahassee. We're going to step aside. Take a good look at Garrett McGinn, who was able to leave the field primarily under his own power, flexing his leg. And take a look at what happened to him there.
Here he is right here, and you're going to see he's going to get fallen upon. Greg Reeves coming down the line, trying to make the tackle, runs into him, and that created the problem. And replacing him would be Matt Morgan.
Number 73 is a redshirt freshman from Clayton, North Carolina. 2nd down and 14. Penix, he might have lost a little bit there. Seen a lot of this sophomore from Elon, North Carolina.
Josh Black got in there and made that tackle. It's this defensive line trying to rise up. And this is a 3rd and long here. Got our little matchup up the top of the screen again. See if they go back that way. Hampton on Brown.
Going the other direction, a little bit high, but Prohl makes the catch. The 10, Prohl gets down to about the 6. He needed to get to the 5.
Ooh, now you got a tough call right here, and I think you tie this game up. Kick the 3, and that's what they're going to do, and I think that's a good decision by Coach Montgomery. There's no guarantees. This is a long 2 yards here to make, so you got a lot of faith in Verity, the kicker. Go ahead and knock this thing up.
Yeah, Verity's 1 for 1 tonight. Has made all of his kicks so far this season. 8 of 8 PATs, 6 for 6 field goals. Junior from Georgia. This from 24 to tie it up. So USF pays a 3-point penalty for their fumble. Scottie Montgomery's team has tied it up. Our Week 3 Monday Night Football matchup has been Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, and the Steelers in Tampa Bay to take on Mike Evans, Ryan Fitzmagic, and the 2-0 Buccaneers. There's the locker. 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific on ESPN. Simulcast at ESPN2 in Spanish and available on the ESPN app. You can watch it anywhere. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6. That's served by Applebee's.
And those Monday Night boys don't travel light, Dave. There was about a dozen trucks out in the parking lot, including a vanity camper for the talent.
For the talent, I believe that is strictly for the talent, yes.
Man.
We had a vanity golf cart today.
Yes, we did.
So, we can't complain. Yeah. So USF had the football to start the quarter, turned it over, and the Pirates made him pay for 3.
Yeah, this Pirate defense is rising up. 3 of the last 4 drives, 3 of them were 3 and outs, and then the last one was the fumble. So this defense has figured something out.
We'll get a touchback taken here and out to the 25-yard line.
And the biggest thing they're doing right now is stopping the run. You look at the last 2 meetings, and the Bulls had their way on the ground. I mean, it was almost comical the way Quentin Flowers ran it up on them last year. But tonight, different story. And they are stopping the run. They're going to force Blake Barnett to beat him with his arm, which he may be up to the task. We'll see. Well,
they've held Jordan Cronkright to 17 yards on 6 carries. That's not even a 3-yard average for the junior out of Miami. He's a good back. He's averaging almost 6 yards per carry. He'll get it here, and he fights to the 28-yard line for 3. What is different about this ECU defense with the new coordinator, David Blackwell, who came from Jacksonville State?
Well, they're healthy is one big thing, a big part of it, but the way they attack the line of scrimmage. Look at how this defensive end is turned inside, and he's just coming down the line to create mayhem.
Barnett in trouble. And it looked like he got hit as he tried to throw that football. That thing got spiked into the ground. It'll be 3rd down and 7. There's a good look at Blackwell. Another coordinator on the field, an ever-growing trend in college football, especially the defensive guys. They love the chaos. The offensive guys normally prefer library quiet, but the defensive guys are more than happy to be down there. No chance for Barnett here. And once again, 94, Alex Turner. He's going to get credit for the sack, but he had a lot of help.
Yeah, Futrell was there as well.
Rolling on the field, the forward progress was stopped prior to the ball coming loose.
Nate Harvey off the bottom of that pile. They brought the house. They blitzed. They brought 6 here. You're going to see it come off the edge. You'll be able to see it coming from up here. And there's just not enough people to block this thing. And then really the key was the move by Futrell and the push by Turner. It just collapsed the pocket.
They missed their last 4 third down opportunities for USF. It begs to be mentioned here, as we see a sideways wobbler and a fair catch signal made, that East Carolina opened their season by losing to North Carolina A&T. That's an FCS school. Now, it's a really good one, and they've won a lot of games. They're on a long winning streak, so that's just not the flavor of the week that you go in there, you hand them a check, and you send them home with a big loss. That was exactly the opposite. Then they turned it around, and again at home, wiped out North Carolina in the second half.
I mean, physically, they pounded them.
So we don't know what would have happened if they had gone to Blacksburg. We'll never know. And then, of course, the folks from Virginia Tech took a tough loss today to Old Dominion. But this East Carolina team showing signs of improvement after a couple of really difficult years for Scottie Montgomery of 3 and 9 seasons. Going for a long here and overthrown. And that time we saw Hampton matched up against Leroy Henley, number 10.
Good coverage by Henley. And I don't know. I think Herring needs to give his guy a chance, make that a 50-50 ball. And he's had an issue of overthrowing his deep balls throughout the beginning of this season. That's why he ends up going to a lot of back shoulder stuff, which has been successful for him.
This is Anthony Scott. Scott spinning, fighting for additional yards. He's a tough dude to bring down. That's about 8 there, so it'll be 3rd down and 2. We might see Holton Ahlers come back in, and he does at the quarterback spot.
Yeah, like clockwork. And this is a huge boost to this offense, which struggled early in the year on short yardage situations. As soon as they put Holton Ahlers in, that all changed.
Here he goes. Not going to get there.
One too many times to the well.
The well was full that time of USF tacklers. About 4 of them gathered together for Brian Jean-Marie. They're the defensive coordinator.
And it was Juwan Brown who got in there and made the play along with Kevin Bronson. Bronson went around his guy and had the lateral quickness to run it down. Biggest punt returner in the league right there.
Tyree McCants back in about 235 into that compact frame. He's not going to get anywhere near this. That thing was sliced. Right in the old lumber yard on that one.
Right, Danny.
If you were streaming this game on ESPN Plus, you would have noticed that last punt only went 20 yards, and USF will take over at the 40. Why don't you start your free trial today? Download that ESPN app or visit ESPNplus.com. Ray Bentley, Dave Lamont, and our group.
I got it. I've got the plus now.
You saw what happened?
Oh, man, I'm excited.
All
it's
right.
Beautiful.
Once again, the ECU defense is really clogging the middle. That's one, maybe 2 yards for Johnny Ford.
It's been over 21 minutes of time off the clock since the Bulls have converted a first down. They've all of a sudden a wet blanket has been thrown over this offense.
How do you shake out of it if you're USF?
You just got to keep plugging. I think you got to try something tricky again. You know, they were having success early. They ran that fake quick screen. They got to do something out of the ordinary here.
And Barnett, the receiver, went one way. The ball went way behind him. It'll be 3rd down and 9 coming up. That time Clairvaux was the intended receiver.
Is that tipped at the line? If not, that was one of the worst passes I've seen. But I saw Barnett, even though he's a tall quarterback, 6'5", he's gotten a lot of balls swatted on him yet this year.
And this is where you kind of miss Quentin Flowers, because if things were breaking down, he could always just do something.
Yeah, they couldn't catch him.
Barnett on the run here, in big trouble and thrown down by Cannon Gibbs, who was shot out of a cannon that time to make that sack. 4th and extremely long, and the punt team will come out.
And this is where it's called a trigger, where he's got the spy on the quarterback, does Gibbs, and then shot out of a cannon, he comes in there and makes a sack.
The 4th sack for this Pirate defense. They only had 2 in their first 2 games. That sideline is stoked. This punt is ripped. Down to the 12. Will they down it correctly this time? Did he get there in time? No. The ruling from the back judge is a touchback.
Missed opportunity there.
67-yard punt, a net of 47.
Ruling on the field is that the punt crossed the plane of the goal line. Therefore, it is a touchback.
It doesn't matter where the player is at. He can cross the plane. It's all about the football in college football, and as soon as it breaks the very front of that plane, that's a touchback.
So the Pirates catch a break. Schneider is an active leg. 6 punts. He's averaging just a shade under 54. Meantime, an opening here for Hussein Howe. He's still going. He got an extra 5 yards after contact. He landed on his feet and gets 20.
That's a pretty good display of balance right there. And a great hole initially. Run a double wide through that thing, and watch him at the end here. Keep the balance, get the hand down on the ground, pops right back to the feet, keeps rolling.
Rolling is exactly what ECU is doing in this third quarter. They trail by 3 at the half. And Ehlers comes in. He'll keep it on the zone read, and he will get very close to a first down. They're going to mark him just shy a 9-yard pickup at the 49-yard line.
I don't know what Ehlers runs in terms of a 40, but he looks about a 4.5 to me right now, and that's moving along for a 6'3", 236-pound kid. He ran away from those defenders. It looked like they had the angle.
He'll keep it again. He'll get a first down. He's not afraid of contact.
No.
He gets 6 there, brought down by Nick Roberts. I'm going to guess the next time Scottie Montgomery gets asked if Ehlers is going to play, I think we know the answer. He's not going to be able to go, well, you're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, that didn't fly with us this last time.
No.
I mean, there's no way. And he's got 11 carries for 46 yards and a touchdown to his credit so far tonight.
Now nothing there for Howe. Second down and 10. Livingstone in there. He's played a very nice game, number 94 there in the green.
Yeah, he beat his man right off the get and was in the backfield ready to make a play. We've seen him do that several times this evening.
Well, USF games, the last couple of them, have not lacked drama. They had to come from behind in the fourth quarter to beat Georgia Tech here in Tampa. They had to come from behind and get a late touchdown to beat Illinois and then hold them off. The Illini were charging at home a week ago, but USF hung in there.
What do they say? Just win, baby? That's what they've done so far.
Back to the ground and back to the ground. 1-yard pickup there. More gang tackling by the green and gold. Bronson was in there again. Kegler. By the way, this USF defense lost some amazing players. I mean, NFL caliber players were on this defense at the tackles, at linebacker, in the secondary. They lost a lot from last year.
Deidrin Sanat, Augie Sanchez, their all-time career-leading tackler. Those guys are gone.
Hector also played next to Sanat, who was just unbelievable. He signed a big free agent deal after not getting drafted. Timeout being called here by ECU as the clock was about to run out. Reed Herring will wisely burn a timeout.
On the field. It's a full media timeout.
So Reed Herring had that clock run down on him. The play clock was down to 2 when he burned the timeout. So the Pirates have 2 remaining in a game where they have run this third quarter. South Florida not able to get their offense ignited at all, and ECU forced a fumble and turned that into 3 points. This is their 17th third down compared to only 8 for the home team.
Yeah, and they've converted 7 of them thus far. The Bulls only 2. And that's where this game is tilting towards the Pirates' favor.
Across the middle, too high. And a drive staller right there at the 45-yard line. Prohl was the intended receiver. That pass not even close.
Yeah, Hawkins had nice underneath coverage, and Nick Roberts was over the top, and you'd have had to have the perfect throw to drop that one in there to Prohl.
So John Young will be asked to take a little off of this one. His last punt wasn't his best, only 20 yards and a bit of a slice. So McCann's at the 10-yard line. Can he tilt the field for USF? Big rush. They got a piece of it, and they got the punter, but that's okay because they got a piece of the ball. Young is unfortunately shaken up at the 45-yard line.
They've been close about 3 or 4 times tonight, Dave. You got a piece of the one, as you mentioned. They got him hard that time.
Roughing the kicker. The ball was tipped.
They went, I counted about 6 people, maybe 7 went after the punter here.
They must have seen something on film where they felt they could get to one, because they are bringing the house just about every time.
Looked like D'Angelo Antoine, number 13, who got a piece of that. And you can see that Young did get up and get off the field under his own power. And no, you don't do the fake punt return here, Cannon Gibbs. So out of the last 6 drives, Ray, for this Bulls attack, 5 have been 3 and outs. The other was the turnover.
It's been a dominating performance by this Pirate defense since basically after the first minute of the second quarter.
And Barnett with a shifty move on the keeper. Sutton brings him down.
And they were due for one of those, because they've been giving them that inside run, time in that zone, time and time again. And the guy who has quarterback eventually falls asleep because he's never coming. And then when he does, nobody's home.
2nd and 2. Cronkright, first really big run for him today. He gets into Pirates territory at the 48-yard line. Devondre Robinson on the stop. That is by far Cronkright's best carry.
Yeah, and you're going to see they had a blitz coming up, and that was Ramseur, number 51, so he couldn't play the other gap, and there was nobody home for that one. Nice execution.
First down and 22 minutes on the clock. Now Barnett stepping away from the pressure. He's going to have to throw it away.
That's one of the few times I've seen Blake Barnett actually roll out to his left, and he had to, but his preference.
No foul for intentional grounding. The quarterback was out of the tackle box. The ball went beyond the line of scrimmage.
His preference is to get to his right, and that's where he instinctively goes. Looks like Sutton's going to come on a nickel blitz right here. Now they changed out of it.
And Sutton drops back. McCants, short gain there. It'll be 3rd and long, maybe 2 yards on the quick out.
Little chess match going on right there between Sterling Gilbert, the offensive coordinator for USF, and David Blackwell, the defensive coordinator for ECU.
That's Gilbert right there.
Both teams looking over the sidelines, getting last-minute instructions.
On 3rd and 8, Barnett holding, firing now at the 40-yard line. And a first down coming up for USF. Darnell Solomon, who has a touchdown catch tonight. Gains 13. And don't forget, a blocked extra point is why we are at 13 all. ECU blocked an extra point early. Cronkright ad-libbing, and he went right back into the arms of Alex Turner.
I think it was Turner who had him initially. He got away, but Turner stayed alive and stuck with it and ended up making the tackle.
Well, he has been outstanding tonight for ECU, the junior from Houston. Man.
You got to put that mouth guard in, though.
Pressure. Barnett looking down, lobbing it downfield.
That was a throwaway.
Yep, 3rd and 9.
Great coverage down on that sideline by Devondre Robinson, and there was just no room, nothing happening, and Barnett made a good decision just to get rid of it, live to fight another down.
Not sure they're in field goal range. Low snap for Barnett. A lot of pressure. He's in trouble. They're out of field goal range right now for anybody.
Nate Harvey. Wow. Coming off the edge. He leads this team and is ranked in the nation. Coming in, he had 5.5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, and give him another one there. And that low snap didn't help, but watch out from the left side. Here he comes. Boom.
So we don't have to worry about field goal range. Now Trent Schneider is going to have to take a little something off of this punt because we know he's got a strong leg. Now we'll see how delicate he can be. Yeah, they got too many men on the field, ECU.
Had to take a timeout.
Yep, and they had a player sit down at the 40-yard line right there, possibly cramping up. But I saw a player run out, and I started to count them, and I realized they had too many.
I'm wondering if the injury is going to change things. It's Sabah, who is down stretching his legs. See if the injury will save ECU that timeout.
Yep, Sabah bouncing up. It's going to be a little costly either way. Because if they...
That is the end of the third quarter.
They get saved by the bell. Third quarter is over. East Carolina held USF to 34 yards in the quarter, and they're due to get the football back when the fourth quarter begins in a moment. So East Carolina, by having that player pull up injured, ended up saving a timeout. The quarter ran out, and now we'll find out if Trent Schneider can take a little off the kick. He does. Does a nice job tucking that inside the 20-yard line. But, Ray, this Pirate defense is not going to finish last this year.
No, they sure aren't. Not after the way they're getting after it tonight. And the guy who's led the charge made that sack, Alex Turner. And then he got some help from Kendall Futrell. He gets himself a sack. And then a big hit from Tank Robinson, forcing the fumble. That led to 3 points. And then you got Cannon Gibbs with a sack, and then the most recent one right there coming from Nate Harvey.
But USF defense only surrendered 3 points in the quarter, and that block PAT is really sticking out right now. Holton Ahlers will start as the quarterback in this quarter, and he hands off to Darius Penix, who gets across or to the 20-yard line for a gain of 4.
One of the things having a threat of running the football at quarterback will do, it'll open up the other things for the running back, because you've got to commit resources to make sure that quarterback doesn't gash you like he has been.
142 yards on the ground for the Pirates, only 31 for the Bulls. His third pass of his career is caught by the tight end Anthony Watley. Watley will be short of the first down. So it sets up a real great running situation here, 3rd and 2.
First career completion.
Yep, he's now 1 for 3 lifetime. He'll get more.
Yes, he will. I would like to see him throw the ball more and see what he's got in that area of the game. But as far as managing things, running the show, and then running with the football, he's been outstanding.
They move it back to the 23 on 3rd down and 3. Ahlers going to keep it. Ahlers, no. He had to get to the 26. So on top, you saw Thomas, and underneath, Josh Black cut him down. It's 4th and a yard to go.
Yeah, and I think East Carolina needs some new plays for Ahlers. There are a lot of ways you can run the quarterback. We've only seen really 3 plays for him running the football, and that's the straight ahead play and then the zone read where he's kept it. So really only 2 plays.
Tonight the Pirates wearing those special helmets with the United Carolinas there with the Pirate logo on top, the One Carolina sticker. They have played an inspired game for having an unplanned off week because of a hurricane.
They ran into
now
the kicker.
They ran into the kicker, and there's a flag down.
And that's going to be a first down for East Carolina.
They had been beating up John Young all night, but nobody touched the ball this time.
And Young is doing the perfunctory lay on the field after you get roughed a little bit just to make sure that the officials do reach into the pocket.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense number 13. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Juwan Cherry on special teams. And
although it looked like Antoine ran into it, actually hit his own man too. Watch this again. They collide. And then down goes the punter.
I think it was McBride who actually
was
the kicker.
Yeah, McBride got his leg off the collision. So a huge mistake made. Young has done his job.
Looks like he's all right now.
Yes, he could play in the World Cup. I shouldn't say that. You know what? That wasn't my leg that got hit.
Right.
But he made sure that the officials saw it. But he's had a tough game. He's had a couple of partially blocked punts today.
He's been on the ground 3 times.
Yep. Quick throw here, incomplete. Intended for Prohl off the hand of Reed Herring. Nick Roberts in coverage that time.
And Herring, he hung his head after that one because he knows that was just a poor throw. Prohl was open. All he had to do was get it on target, and they'd have been in a nice little situation. As it is, it's 2nd and 10. They're behind the chains.
We haven't called Trayvon Brown's name in a while. He is in coverage. Of course, it's being covered by Mike Hampton at the 40 at the bottom of your screens. Herring looks to him there on the slant, and he beat Hampton that time and gets thrown down for a first down.
Another nice play call by you. Get that ball back to Trayvon Brown. They must be listening.
We love any kind of viewers from anywhere, man.
You're calling a heck of a game so far, brother.
Well, ECU beginning to take a little bit of time off the play clock. Prohl in motion. Well, handoff gap opened up there, and that's a big tackle. Because Anthony Scott had a first down in mind there, and he got tripped up after 5 yards.
And Josh Black was a little late coming off the edge from the top of your screen, and that created this seam, but he was able to redirect and just get the toe of Anthony Scott and get him down, or that thing would have been busted out into the next level.
You do feel like USF is on the ropes in this half. But again, the defense comes up big, stuffing the run play for no gain. And you see again coming up in that safety position, Roberts.
And South Florida, they brought both inside linebackers up late to try to help plug run holes on that one, and it worked effectively for them.
Is this 2-down territory for the Pirates?
I would say it is. Depending on how far they have to go. We'll see what happens with this play.
Quick throw. And Hampton broke it up. Henley was the intended receiver. 4th and 5. Big decision here for Scottie Montgomery. His defense has played lights out in this half.
Yeah, you kicked this at 4th and 5, Dave. Pin him back. Your defense is playing so good right now. I wouldn't mess with that whole thing right there. Pin him back and make him go the whole field. Maybe they'll rough your punter again. Who
well,
knows?
I don't know what you do. USF has been able to get close to him a lot. He got knocked down again, but that time there'd be no penalty. And this is an absolutely near perfect kick. It dies between the 4 and 5 yard lines. John Young getting it done with a 41-yard punt. So we have a little correction there. They snuck Jake Verity on the field to punt while John Young apparently has been shaken up and isn't feeling well. And so Verity did a magnificent job. He too got knocked down. Now the 4th quarter has been great for Blake Barnett and USF, but he's got a long way to go here.
This is where he cranks it up. We'll see if he's still got that in him.
He cranks out a throw here to the flat, and now Antoine gets across the 15-yard line and a first down for the Bulls. They haven't had many in this half.
And those guys are good on the edge of making tacklers miss, and when they do, look out, because a big play is coming at you.
Keeps it after faking the handoff. We'll get a couple. Tackle made that time by 46, Chance Purvis.
Sterling Gilbert's trying to put a different mix and run some new plays that he hasn't shown just yet to do something to shake this offense out of their malaise.
Straight ahead. Pop it through! Crack right! 30, 20, 10, and that's the way it is! Touchdown, USF! And that is Mom right there, celebrating while sticking to the stadium policy of bringing in a clear bag.
Well
80
done.
yards.
They caught him in a zone blitz. They had a defensive lineman bail out of there, at the end, and it opened things up big time. And that's all Cronkite needed was that little gap, and away he went.
One PAT has been blocked already. This one is money. 20-13. Great blocking this time by that Bull line.
Yeah, and this offense cranks it up in the fourth quarter, apparently. That's what they need, and they got it on the huge run by Cronkite. They're up 7. USF jumps out to a 7-point lead after the 80-yard touchdown run by Cronkite. And check out what happens here. The linebacker, Gibbs, is going to bail out instead of usually folding over where he would make this play. He's gone. He's on a buzz technique. He's dropping to the pass immediately, and nobody's home in the middle of that field. And that's all Cronkite needed was that little seam, and he busted it out to the house.
This has been the USF's pattern this year. Fourth quarters, offensively, they light it up in the early going in this season. This first month, he's done 100 yards again. Of course, 80 of those were on that carry.
Yeah, before that carry, he had 9 carries for 35 yards. Now he's got 10 for $110.
Boy, and you can feel the crowd feel that jolt against Anthony Scott at the 18-yard line. Next Saturday on ABC, we're looking for whiteout conditions in September. A top 10 matchup with enormous college football playoff implications when Ohio State travels to Happy Valley in Beaver Stadium. Number 4 and number 10 is where they're ranked at the moment. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central on ABC, live on the ESPN app, so you can watch it anywhere. Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. We've been in kind of a news blackout. I'm going to assume that that's where game day is headed.
That'd be a fine choice, I believe.
I'm just going to go ahead and take a wild stab at that. Reed Herring now working from behind. Going to go long right away, and it's off the fingertips of Terrell Green. Second down and 10 coming up.
That was a pretty nice throw down the field by Herring, and I got to tell you, Green needs to catch that one. Max protection, they keep 6, 7 in and only send 3 receivers out. And this one, that's got to be caught. Either you lay out, whatever it is you have to do. It looked like he short-armed it a little bit.
Blitz picked up right down the middle. And a sure tackle on Ferrier, because if that tackle is not made by Ronnie Hoggins Jr., that could have been a big play. As it was, it's a pretty healthy gain. It's going to be 3rd down and about 1 yard to go.
And they got into that empty formation and spread the field, and the Bulls blitzed up the middle. That left a hole in the middle where Herring was able to throw the football.
Somewhere out of those two gentlemen, some sense will be made by the quarterback, and that play call will be executed. Penix.
They're going to give him that.
Yeah, I think they did.
The leg drive is what got it.
First down for the Pirates.
Been impressed with Penix so far today, especially with the way he finishes runs. He keeps them legs churning, and he's got a great awareness of where he needs to be and how far he needs to get to move the chains. And he got it done again.
What a great opener in the American Conference for these two teams.
Last year it was a 61-31 Bulls win. Different story. A lot of defense here tonight.
Trying to get it there to Trayvon Brown. You know, it's going to be interesting. You know, ECU's next opponent is. This is a little ironic. They don't play Virginia Tech because of the hurricane. Old Dominion just played Virginia Tech and beat them. ECU's next opponent, Old Dominion.
Yeah, well.
That'll be in
I
Greenville.
Guess they can beat Virginia Tech by proxy if they knock off Old Dominion.
Well, I think by proxy right now, Temple is the best team in the Big Ten and I think the Big 12 now.
Yeah.
Because Texas won today. Well, Maryland, it's complicated. Herring, one more time deep. A lot of contact down there. No flag. And the battle continues.
I'm not sure what color jersey Trayvon Brown's wearing or what number, because he's been draped by a number 7 green all night long.
That has been a real battle, and I tell you what, Mike Hampton has been with him almost every time. Of the 12 targets, I think Hampton has covered him 11 of those targets, and Brown has 4 catches.
Well, and you could see the frustration on Brown's face. He's not used to getting shut down like this.
Redshirt sophomore from Tampa, number 7 there, has played a magnificent game. Now he draws a different number. On 3rd and 10. Herring under pressure. He'll try the same pass, and it's caught at the 40-yard line by Leroy Henley.
And what Henley did was got in front of Hampton and was able to use his body, almost boxing him out to make this grab. So a little bit different route. This is a post route more than a go route down the outside, and I like that adjustment because it worked out really well, and a good throw from Herring.
Holt Nailers comes in at quarterback after that 31-yard reception. Gain out here to the 38-yard line of 3 by Hussein Howe. Should USF hang on here, Ray, this would be their 150th win. They'd be the fastest in the state of Florida to win 150 games. They do it in game 255. This is not an old program.
No, but I tell you what, they got it rolling back in the Jim Levitt days, and they've kept it rolling.
They stick to the ground. They stick to Howe. Howe gets to the 35, maybe the 34 if they're generous with the spot. Greg Reeves in there, the junior from Bradenton. On the stop, sets up 3rd down and 4. I've got to believe 4th down territory is on the mind of Scottie Montgomery.
Yeah, and he did. He rolled the quarterbacks again. Herring back in. And Reed Herring's got to be a pretty good teammate to not create any noise about splitting time with the freshman. He's all in as far as what's best for this football team.
Interesting formation here. Kroll goes in motion. Pressure right at the gut. Thrown. Incomplete. Anthony Scott, even if he had caught that, the odds were against him. So it's going to be 4th down and 4.
And Vincent Jackson was all over him here. They're trying to get the ball out quick for a little screen to the outside. Jackson in man-to-man jumped his receiver, and Scott had nothing to do.
No kicker coming on the field here. They're 2 out of 3 on 4th down. That number 9 is not Jake Verity, it's Reed Herring.
Got Troll down in the slot at the bottom. That's where I'd look.
Pressure coming. It's picked up. Quick throw, and it's knocked away. USF holds. Mazzy Wilkins knocked it down.
What a great play by Mazzy Williams, anticipating the quick throw, making the break on the ball, laying out, and knocking it down to save the Bulls for now.
We got a great game here in the American as USF defense comes up with this 4th down stop.
Yeah, they brought the pressure, had man-to-man coverage, and just a great job of jumping that route and making a defensive play.
So they gained 2 here, and now they start to work on that clock. And, of course, that was Cronkwright, who had an 80-yard touchdown run in this 4th quarter. And, by the way, that's now 34 straight games where USF has 20 points or more. That's the longest streak in the country. Back to the ground again. Not much. So you're looking at 3rd down and 5 coming up.
Nice play there by Bruce Bivens, who's been splitting time in that Mike linebacker position with Cannon Gibbs tonight. And they're going to need another play like that and get the ball back real quick. Would be ideal for these Pirates.
30% 3rd down conversion for USF tonight. And coming into this game, East Carolina was giving up a 31% conversion rate on 3rd downs.
And that chess match continues as both teams making late calls, try and gain an advantage.
Barnett in a lot of trouble. He goes down. Nate Harvey with another sack. That gives him 3.5 on the year. And 4th down coming up.
And 2 on the night. And he's got 7.5 tackles for loss in the games. And here he is just coming off the edge. And he's hard to stop when he does. And he's going to look he totally made Marcus Norman whiff with that little up and under move.
And that guy was second team all conference last year. By the way, you know that's 6 sacks for this Pirate defense?
That's pretty good. Harvey was a former walk-on. He was a running back last year for this team, and they put him at outside linebacker and turned him loose, and he's been a revelation.
So the fair catch is made inside the 20-yard line. So with 5:06 and 2 timeouts, the combination of Reed Herring and Holt Nailers will get a chance to try to move the Pirates into a tie here. And how, that missed extra point, it's like missing a single pin spare in bowling. It usually comes back to haunt you. And let's see if this is going to haunt South Florida. They scored their first touchdown to make it 7-6. The PAT was blocked. Charlie Strong, quick conversation with his defensive coordinator. 2 defensive minds on the same page. Blitz, quick throw, quick catch, and Ferrier ruled down by contact.
That was one of the first times tonight I've seen the Bulls play cover 3 in just a 3-man or 3-deep zone, dropping underneath, and it's a change-up call. Most of the time they're a 1-high safety man-to-man type of football team.
There you see Jean-Marie with that bright hat on. Going over the top. Brown. Wow, what a grab.
And they're starting to throw the ball inside more when they go up to those fade routes or back shoulder routes. And I tell you what, I think that's a great move because Herring throws it much better. I think when he gets along the sidelines, he has a tendency to throw it out of bounds on him.
And they appear to be playing with a little bit faster pace, too, the Pirates offensively. Pressure right in his face, throws incomplete. Unblocked defender came ripping in there. Looked like McGee, number 2, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, they brought the house. McGee came off the edge, and Herring didn't get it out of his hands fast enough. He had an open receiver throwing behind the blitz, but he just didn't get it out quick enough. Wasn't able to control it with the pressure coming at him.
You must like these aggressive defenses.
I do.
Tonight.
I like it when they're getting after it. It's like a cover 3 again for the Bulls, though, and it is.
Quick, Brown, had he broken that tackle, and he knows that Reeves brought him down. That's the defensive end. Greg Reeves in coverage that time. So here comes another big 3rd down and about 4 to go.
Yeah, they've been dropping Reeves out tonight, covering the flat, which is a long way to go for a big defensive end, but he did it perfectly.
Another blitz, McGee up the middle, another quick throw, and it's caught by Prohl. Roberts was convinced he had the interception. He started to run down the other way.
He was thinking touchdown dance.
And instead, it's a 1st down.
Boy, talk about your game of inches. Herring with the whip gets that ball out there just enough. And how about Prohl with the hands? He just basically stole that thing from Roberts.
More pressure coming up the middle. Herring off the back foot.
He threw it away.
Yep. Hampton got a hand on it anyway, but Brown was out of bounds. So it'll be 2nd and 10. USF is not backing down now on pressure.
No, and they've had some success with it the last few times they've dialed it up. So I say continue with that because it puts a lot of stress on Reed Herring. They do.
They bring it again. Herring, though, he's got some time, and then one-on-one battles right now. Hampton involved one more time, this time with Henley, who made a beautiful catch earlier. So here comes 3rd down and 10. East Carolina, 2 timeouts. South Florida, USF with 3.
I like how Hampton adjusted. You know, he got beat with a receiver getting in front of him where he was behind the guy. He worked his way to get in front of the receiver that time, and it made all the difference.
This time they rush 3. Tough throw for Herring. No dice.
Oh, good pressure with just bringing 3. force Herring to just throw that away, basically.
4th down and 10. Now, this is, what do you do here?
I think you go for it.
All right.
I mean, in this field position, your defense is going to have to make a play for you if you don't get it. And he's going to punt it? I'm surprised.
Well, John Young is returning. We saw John miss the punt. Jake Verity did a great job. John wasn't feeling well, to be generous, and is now back on there, so I'm happy to see that he's doing better.
I don't know. I would go for this one.
Well, do you fake it?
You only have 2 timeouts. Nah, it's not with 10 yards to go.
Too crazy? All right. Young, high kick. And a touchback. USF, can they finish this game off to remain undefeated? Kickoff Week 3 NFL Sunday with ESPN at 10 a.m. Eastern. Mañana, our Sunday NFL Countdown crew of Rex Charles, Matt, Randy, Mort, Shefty, and Samantha will have all the early breaking stories, injury updates, preview every game right at the kickoff, and you can watch it on the ESPN app like perhaps you're watching this game in the American Conference to see if USF can run out the clock.
I'm surprised that East Carolina hasn't taken the timeout. They got 2 left. Apparently they're going to use them after 2nd and 3rd downs here. I was surprised they didn't go for it on the 4th and 10.
Well, there's no motivation for USF to snap this for another 20 seconds.
No, they're going to eat every one of them. East Carolina brought the house on that last one, run blitz, trying to plug every hole.
Down to 3. 2 and a 2, they snap it. And Cronkright, boy, took a shot across the face, but he got to the 25-yard line, and now we hear whistles and a timeout after that 4-yard gain. ECU with 1 remaining.
ECU takes their second charge timeout of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
2:19 remaining, so your ball game almost pretty much rests on this play.
It does.
If they can make a stop.
And the ECU defense has 7 3-and-outs tonight. They need one right now, and they've got a chance here on a 3rd and 4.
Let's remind you one more time that a year ago, this East Carolina defense gave up 61 in this matchup and was the last ranked team in college football at the FBS level.
Right, in total yards allowed, over 550 a game, and in points allowed, over actually 45 points a game. And the new man in charge, David Blackwell, he's taking care of business.
3 out of 11 permitted on 3rd downs.
This is your ball game pretty much right here.
Cronkright, very close.
Didn't get it. He's a yard short.
He is a yard short. Do you call a timeout right away?
ECU takes their 3rd and final charge timeout of the half.
There's your answer.
This is a 30-second timeout.
So they will get the ball back. They will do so without a timeout.
But it worked out perfectly for Scottie Montgomery. He's able to force a punt. And then now they've got a couple minutes left, and they can control the clock in various ways, but they're out of timeouts. And boy, what a great play by Nate Harvey of just getting the ankle here of Cronkright, or he would have been gone through that middle again.
You saw that hole open up in that first angle we showed, and I'm sure Cronkright first thought, you know what, I've had one long touchdown run. I'm about to get another one. So Trent Schneider's done an excellent job today. He's averaged almost 50 yards over his 8 punts, and he has unleashed a 72-yarder today. The 28-year-old from Sydney, Australia, a former soccer goalie, has got to rip one here. And he did. Checks back to the 23-yard line. So for East Carolina to get 6, they've got 2:05, and they've got to go from their own 23-yard line without a timeout.
And I'm pretty much counting on Coach Jean-Marie to dial up the heat again. That's been very effective for him here late in this ball game, in particular in the last drive. He brought the heat on 2 out of the 3 snaps in the last set of downs, and Reed Herring had nowhere to go with it. And Charlie's checking with him, making sure.
Those two will not be far from each other.
No.
Hearing this. 2:05 is the official time. Here we go. Herring, first throw is intercepted at the 43-yard line. Nick Roberts comes up with a football.
I know you like icing, Dave.
I do.
There's some icing for you. Just an underthrown ball by Reed Herring. He's trying to back shoulder it, and he went too far back. And a really nice defensive play, too, of keeping his eye on the football by Roberts and then making that catch, because that wasn't easy. Todd Dean's leg kicked up on that football at the end, too, and he still was able to get it.
First turnover of the night.
Previous play of an interception is under further review.
We have not heard from the replay official, Michael Semcheski, all night. I didn't see anything unusual.
I was busy looking at him make the catch and didn't see where his feet came down. That's the only thing I can think it would be in question here.
We'll offer up some looks and see if there was something that we missed on our initial calls here. He's in bounds. There's no question of that.
No doubt. He foot in, 2 feet in. He's got the football.
Oh, he's controlling that. I've got to think this ruling will be confirmed.
I think that's what they're worried about at the end. You can see some ball show up. But you see him pull it right off the foot of Dean's. He's down on the ground. He's got his hand underneath it the whole time. That's a catch.
Yeah, I don't think that's enough to overturn it with my own gut feeling, but we'll take a look again. Again, it's up to Michael Semcheski right now, the replay official, whether he agrees with the call on the field, which is interception.
Yeah, I don't see how you don't agree with that. I mean, the ball can touch the ground as long as the hand's underneath it and the player has control of it. And I think Roberts had all of those things.
Right off his shin. Unbelievable.
See his right hand underneath the football right there? To me, that's a catch.
Well, we'll find out.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. It is an interception. First down, USF.
Yeah, good call. And I think it was worth looking at, too. So, well done.
Well, something about the fourth quarter and USF. You know, they didn't have to make a double-digit comeback tonight.
Nick Roberts over there telling people about it. First career interception, a game saver for these Bulls.
Well, the DBs were taxed tonight. Roberts certainly was taxed, as Barnett will take his time taking a knee. Mike Hampton worked incredibly hard. Thomas in the run game. Wilkins at corner. All those DBs for the Bulls played really well tonight.
They did. And you know what? They got some good work up front from some guys, too. And especially Kirk Livingstone. We called his name on plays all night along with Kevin Bronson. I think the defense rose up and did what they had to do.
I'm guessing Charlie Strong's going to let this run down and then take a timeout. He's got all of his available while Scottie Montgomery does not.
He'll just take a knee and snap it with a second or two left.
That's true. He could also, yeah, you're right.
They can just run this thing out.
And that's a quick knee there. Sports Center will be coming up next. This one ended up being a real thriller. Underwhelming offensively to what some people thought it was going to be, but ended up being a taut defensive thriller. USF is going to win this game, Ray, with 9 first downs.
Yeah, they keep living on borrowed time. You know, they have pulled out a couple. There was no way they should have beat Illinois at the end of the week game last week, but yet they pulled it out. This is a tough-minded group.
Time of possession with just a few ticks left on the clock. The Pirates had the ball for over 38 minutes.
And the Bulls under 20 so far.
Yep. But the big play, the 80-yard run by Jordan Cronkright, ends up with 129 rushing, and USF stays undefeated. They go to 1-0 in the American, and they're 4-0 overall. They were in the also receiving votes category when the latest polls came out. They'll pick up a few more votes with a very hard-earned victory at home between an East Carolina team, an ECU squad that is clearly improved over last season, especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, East Carolina University has nothing to hang their head over on this one. They played extremely tough, played well, just came up a little short, but their future's looking a lot better right now.
We want to thank our entire crew, captained by our puppet master, Scott Gustafson, and director Bonnie Riley. For Ray Bentley and everyone who worked on this one tonight, I'm Dave Lamont. We thank you for watching. We say good night from Tampa. SportsCenter is next.